Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, should LeBron James be celebrating personal milestones as his Cavaliers struggle? Plus, Skip and Shannon break down Tom Brady's future in New England. And can the underdog Eagles pull off an upset against the Patriots? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Let's start with LeBron. He became the 7th member of the 30,000-point club at the end of the first quarter in last night's loss to the Spurs. LeBron also became the youngest player to reach that mark. Before yesterday's game, he posted on Instagram a message congratulating himself on the feat, even though he had not reached 30,000 yet. LeBron talked about that and more after the game.
I'll never fully appreciate what I do anytime I accomplish something, no matter if it's a win or a loss. You know, I've always told you, Jason, told our guys back home that looking forward to the moment when I'm, basically can be done with the game and I can sit back with my family and my friends. We can sit back, drink some wine, talk about all the accomplishments that I had and the feats that I've been able to accomplish. So I even tried to psych myself out today with my Instagram posts. Tell me to take some time and I don't know how to do it. I've never been able to do it. When I got 25,000 or 20, MVPs and, rookie of the year and things, won a championship. I haven't had a time to really just sit and appreciate and, the journey that I've been on. And I don't want to because I think it's allowed me to stay on the path that I've been on.
Skip, how did LeBron handle the night?
Okay. You can dismiss me as a hater if you want.
Okay.
But let me get this straight. We just heard your man LeBron, our man LeBron.
Yep.
A great player, obviously all-time great. And it was a great achievement last night. But
Correct.
I think I just heard him say he congratulated himself on Instagram yesterday, as we talked about during the show, at the end of the show, just to try to force himself, to pressure himself into stop and smell the roses, correct? Or the rosé, as it might be, right?
Yeah.
Okay? He's saying just to force himself, to give himself a break and embrace and celebrate a milestone. Am I interpreting correctly?
Correct.
I'm sorry, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And it harks back to what I told you that a source very close to Kyrie Irving told me was one reason Kyrie wanted out of Cleveland. He just believes at this stage and age, LeBron James has become a little more concerned with, a little more focused on building statistical legacy over winning championships. No huge thing, but Kyrie just wants to go try to win by himself. Mm-hmm. So let's look. 30,000 career points it's very impressive. I'm not discounting it one bit, and obviously only 6 other players have done it. Mm-hmm. I give you that.
Okay.
This is LeBron bleeping James. It's a duh to me that a player this gifted, a gifted scorer, we get that. It was expected that if he's going to play for 15 years and be mostly healthy through 15 years, which is another achievement in and of itself,
Correct.
he's going to top 30,000 points. It's not...
Do we think he would do it this fast?
Well, he's way short of how fast Michael Jordan did it. Michael Jordan did it in what was it, 960 games to 1107, so... I don't know, 147 fewer games for Michael Jordan. It's okay, and I'm not trying to take it away.
How old was Michael?
Okay, but Michael had to go to college.
He didn't have to.
Well, he did.
No, you could have came straight out. If
Okay,
you could.
but he was there for what?
3 years. Yeah.
3 years. Okay, well,
That's what
for
he
whatever reason, he got a much later start.
That's what he needed to mature.
Okay.
My guy was ready.
Okay, all right, and that's fine. I give you all that, and it's all that's valid. I give you that, but. If last night LeBron James had passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time record of 38,387 points, so he's 380 short.
That's coming.
Okay, it could be coming. I doubt it, but it could be.
It's coming.
But if it did, if that was last night, stop the game, stop the presses, drop the confetti from the rafters, because that is huge. That is all-time great. This is just 30,000 points.
Just.
And I wanted to hear LeBron. I wanted to just be ho-hum business as usual. And after the game, just silly me, I wanted to hear him say, he started down that path. I wanted to hear him say, I'll celebrate all my milestones when all is said and done.
Correct.
But right now, I wanted to hear him say last night, we have much more important issues to address. Because the great irony is, do you realize a LeBron James team just suffered its worst stretch since he started in the league, to your point.
I do.
You have to go clear back to the first 19 games of his pro career in 2003 to find a record stretch this bad. They've had the tied for the fewest wins since Christmas. It's a 3-10 stretch.
Yes.
And in this stretch, in the second halves, if we look at LeBron's plus minus just in the second halves, he's minus 98, which is the worst in the entire NBA. Well, something's amiss here. Something's wrong. And to me, again, the irony last night was, as you celebrate 30,000, that was the worst game of the whole 13-game stretch. That was hitting bottom. That team on that floor was a lifeless mess last night. And again, I want the Cavs to be better than that. And I remind you, they got shellacked by the Spurs B team. There was no Kawhi Leonard. There was no Pau Gasol. There was no Rudy Gay. There was no Manu Ginobili, who, trust me, he's my sixth man of the year. He is their fire starter off the bench. He was out. And Tony Parker has been demoted to the backup team, to the second team, because he's still trying to recover from a quad
like the
surgery.
road runner last night, didn't he?
Road runner?
Yeah,
Tony Parker?
Yeah, he looked like the road runner.
Okay, well, against your guys maybe, but
that's
not
my
against most people.
No,
He doesn't.
That's why he was demoted.
Okay, and they lost 114 to 102, and every 50-50 ball, every loose ball, DeJounte Murray's all over it, and the Cavs are just kind of like, if you want it that
Layup
badly,
line.
you go.
It was
you
a
go.
layup line.
Okay, so I get it. It's impressive 30,000, but LeBron over-celebrated it. It's like the game ended, he was all smiles, he wanted the Spurs to all come and hug him, he wanted Coach Pop to come whisper sweet nothings in his ear. I don't know. I don't get it, because aren't there bigger fish to fry right now? Come on, we know he was going to get to 30,000. Is it really that impressive?
Yeah, we got a 5'9" fish that's smelling up everything.
Okay, well,
that's the problem.
Tell me about it. Fire away.
Here's the thing. I think the thing is, Skip, sometimes as a great athlete or a great, whatever it is, actor, actress, when you accomplish something, you're so set on the destination.
Okay.
If you're an actor, you want to win an Academy Award. You want to get this lead role. So you get so caught up in arriving at a destination, you don't enjoy. It's the journey that provides the memories. It's the friendships. It's the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows that get you to the destination that you don't forget. Because you get so caught up in trying to arrive here. Skip, I tell you, the first time I went to Las Vegas, Skip, I was so excited. Hell, I missed the Grand Canyon flyover because all I was thinking about was Vegas. All I had to do was look out the window to my left, and there's the Grand Canyon.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. And that's LeBron. 20,000, 25,000, MVPs, finals, and all this. He doesn't even want to realize, I told you yesterday, sometimes you got to rise above, Joy, then look down like, wow, I'm a bad dude, Skip. But you know why?
But we know he is.
No,
you know he is. You of all people.
No,
you have to, does he need to remind us how bad a dude he is?
I believe he did that. He did what he did as far as became reflective because of how challenging this season is.
Maybe that's it.
That's why
I'll accept that.
That's the only thing that can keep him focused, Skip. But what's so amazing about this? Because they stopped the game when Dirk hit 30,000. They stopped the game when Kobe hit 30,000. When Kareem did it. When Michael did it. When he was in the first game of Washington Wizards. You don't want to talk about that, do you, Skip? Because he didn't do it in the Bulls uniform.
That was his 15th and last season.
Yeah.
This is LeBron's 15th, and he's still going.
But what's so amazing about LeBron, I said, I believe he will pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But what's going to make us going to trip you out, Skip Bayless? Just think about this. I'm going to let you chew on this for a second as I continue down my path.
Yep.
This man will end his career as have more points than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and more assists than Magic Johnson. Oh, my goodness, Joe. Think about that.
Says Shannon Sharpe.
Oh, you know it's going to happen, Skip.
That guy I heard last night, it sounded like he's winding down.
He ain't winding down.
Are you sure about this?
Seriously.
I'm starting to think Tom Brady will play longer than LeBron James, and I'm not just saying that. I'm starting to think that.
He gonna wind it down in Cleveland if they don't do something.
Okay,
but
could be.
Skip, the mere fact that LeBron James is 12th in assists. He's 12th. He's contributed to another 18,000+ points. So that 30,000 and then the 18,000 that he's contributed. Now, by Kobe Bryant is 30th on that list. Michael Jordan is like 40-something. Michael Jordan is after Kareem as far as the assist total. Karl Malone is 55. This man is 12th. When it's all said and done, he'll be in front of Magic Johnson, who's recognized as the undeniable greatest point guard to ever live. And LeBron James will have more assists than him, will end his career with more points than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So no matter what you think, he can lose the next 10 finals. He's a Mount Rushmore player as we speak, and that will not change.
He is not yet a Mount Rushmore.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
And you know what? That 38,000 is so far out there. After the guy I saw last night, I just can't imagine him sucking it up and staying the course to get to 38,000.
He's going to be, what, 30? I believe he got, what, another 30 games to play, 35. So he'll be at like 30,500, then another. He's going to get there. But, Skip, look, I remember when I broke Ozzy's record, LeBron, you and I share something in common. Cleveland Browns beat the brakes off us that day. How'd I suffer a loss to them? That's on my resume. But anyway, but Skip, at the time, you know what? When you're going through things, and I was not the athlete. I maximized my ability. But Skip, you don't think about. Here I'm a 7th round pick, and then I remember when I got my first touchdown catch, my first 100-yard game, my first Pro Bowl, first All-Pro. You don't get a chance to enjoy it, Skip, because you're like, okay, that was good. But I got to show people that this was not a flash in the pan, that I'm more than this. So I'm back at it. I'm back in the gym. I'm back training. And that's how he's always been. But because this season has been so challenging, Skip Bayless, and let me tell you something. You keep talking about his plus minus, the minus in the second half.
Minus 98 over a 13-game
in 7 starts. You know what Isaiah Thomas' plus minus is, Skip?
It's awful.
92. That's why LeBron James is 98.
Oh,
because
so it's Isaiah's fault.
It doesn't work.
It's some. I'll give you that.
Look at Kevin Love. Isaiah stepped on the court, and you make Kevin Love can't play. Kevin Love's a 2010 guy minus IT. He got to go. Tristan Thompson played 20 minutes last night, 1 rebound. J.R. Smith played 29 minutes, 0 points. And you want LeBron James. Listen, I told you he's a great chef. But at some point in time, when you give him cow manure, horse manure, and chicken poo, that's what you're going to get. He can't keep making these delicacies out of that, what y'all keep giving them ingredients. You're giving him, Skip Bayless, and you know it. Now, he had to celebrate because he about to lose his mind. So one day, he and I going to sit back. We're going to have us some Bordeaux, probably 1963, maybe some Philippe Rothschild. That's what he and I be on.
Maybe some Henny.
No, we ain't going to do that. We tried to mellow out.
Fancy?
Yeah, we tried to mellow out. You tried to get us the
Oh, you're
headshot.
going to be yourself, Uncle Shay. You're going to be
No, but me and Bron,
LeBron?
No, but here's Skip trying to get us to go to sleep real early, Joy. We got to sip on some nice wine. We're going to sit back.
Why don't make you sleepy?
Yeah, I'm like, LeBron, you remember your second NBA Finals? They had y'all down by 10 points going to the 4th quarter. Man, they thought they had you. Man, I remember talking to old Skip Bayless. Oh, Skip, man, he was sick. Yeah. That's why I hit that shot on him. That's why I hit that shot on Kawhi, because I knew it was going to rub Skip the wrong way.
So you're going to reminisce about Ray Allen's shot?
No, we're going to reminisce about that. We're going to go back to Skip. When you Rookie of the Year, you about to be a 12-time first-team All-Pro. You do know he just broke the tie. The most consecutive starts with Bob Cousy in the All-Star game.
Okay. This is all why you shouldn't celebrate 30,000 points.
What?
Seriously, wasn't it a duh to you?
No.
Wasn't it just so obvious? It was coming.
Only 7 men, he's the 7th man to ever do that.
But LeBron James, we knew he was obviously the first overall pick. I knew when I'd watch him on ESPN in high school. Didn't you know?
Yeah.
One day he's going to score 30,000 points.
Skip, what guy has had to endure more, came into the league, as you mentioned, you saw him in high school, with more pressure and been able to stand tall through the adversity?
I'll give you that.
Michael did not have to face social media.
No, he did not.
So LeBron has had to, everybody is Red Auerbach with an opinion that they know who's great and who's not.
Yeah, I mean, when Michael got drafted, nobody saw that coming.
No.
Because the joke was back at North Carolina, only one man could stop Michael Jordan, Dean Smith,
Could
the
hold
coach,
him under 20
right?
points.
Yeah, okay.
No, nobody. You thought he could be a good player. I mean, he hit the shot. Very few freshmen. They would have been, because James
You should have seen it coming with that shot.
James Worthy was Player of the Year that year.
He was.
Big Game James, who would later go on to be the first pick in the draft that following season. But Skip, you like, okay, yeah, he could be good. And you saw the flashes, the highlights, the dunks.
But you did not know until the first couple of months of his career, his NBA career.
But after about 3 games, Skip, you're like, this dude, you've never seen anything like this before.
Okay, I got it. So there wasn't nearly the pressure pre-draft, coming up to the draft, that there was on LeBron James.
Correct.
Yeah, I got it. I give you that.
But Skip,
he has endured.
But what he's going through this year and trying to, the harsh breakup with he and Kyrie, and I believe that LeBron James was willing to work through any issues that he and Kyrie might have had. He did not want Kyrie to be traded.
He did not.
And James Dolan traded him because he panicked.
Dan Gilbert.
Dan Gilbert, excuse me, Dan.
It's easy to confuse the two, I understand.
Yeah.
They're kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Dan Gilbert panicked because he had Kyrie for 2 more years. Skip.
Yep.
The trade deadline was 7 months away.
I give you that.
There was no need to do what he did.
Yep.
And LeBron's like, okay, Kyrie, you have whatever your beef is with me.
Yep.
You and I can sit down like grown men because let's not break this up because we still, there'd have been no question with Kyrie. I don't even know if the East would have been interesting. With Melo leaving, with Paul George leaving, with Jimmy Butler leaving, if Kyrie's still on the Cavaliers.
I'm pretty sure it's over.
So what are we even talking about? We're not even having a conversation. But Skip, I think because what he's going through this year with this team, when he said this is his most challenging, and it seems like he said, it seems like I say this every year, Skip, I think we see now this is his most challenging season. This is even more challenging than when he first got to Miami. He's never had a stretch like this. I mean, his free throw percentage is plummeted. His three-point percentage is plummeted. His field goal percentage is plummeted. It is all because you know why.
Okay, it's possible he has lost heart, but I watch closely every night. On the defensive end, he is not what he used to be.
No,
he is, for the first time in his life, he is showing some age on the defensive end.
Yes.
And it's not, in a bad way, it's rubbing off on his teammates because nobody is committed to playing defense.
No.
And so in the second halves, after you've led the league in minutes for the first maybe month and a half of the season, I'm seeing a little wear down effect on LeBron. I'm seeing him run out a little bit of second half gas. And I don't know. Then when he starts talking about, I want to watch my kids play basketball, I want to be there for my kids as they're growing up, I start hearing seeds planted of maybe he's starting to think of, I'm winding it down. That's why it's hard for me to fathom he's going to muster up 8,000 more points. That's a lot of points,
That's a lot of points. Well, he's going to have to play at least 5. He'll have to get to 20 years in order to do that.
Whew.
20 years. Skip, I believe he can play three more years at this level. And then probably year 19, there's no question he's going to, I mean, even Superman got old. They had to switch characters to get somebody else to play.
They did.
Play as Superman. But I believe he will play long enough to he'll get Kareem and to have more assists than Magic Johnson. I think that speaks to just how impressive what he's doing is. And then what he's had to endure, Skip. I mean, he's been the face of the franchise. Because when Magic got to the Lakers, Kareem was already there. People might not know this, Skip, but you do. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the MVP of the league, Magic rookie year.
Yeah, I covered 2 years of teams with just Kareem on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So think about that. A guy wins the NCAA Finals.
Yep.
Comes and joins. All-time, he's a top. Kareem at that point in time was already a top 5 player. You join him and you win the finals. That's your rookie year. That'll never happen again, Skip.
Okay, but putting 30,000 back in perspective, and LeBron always invites the comparisons to Michael Jeffrey Jordan. So I'm going to say it again. Michael did it in 147 fewer games. And remember, in Michael's era, the three-point shot was not nearly as emphasized as it has been through LeBron's era.
Correct.
So that means that LeBron has attempted, think about this, 2,741 more three-point shots than Michael did in his whole career. 2,741 more. So he makes around 34%, which is kind of average, not bad. So that's way more point. You can see what's happened. That's 2,800 more points. That's more than a year's worth of points just from the three-point line.
And Michael probably got 2,000 more shot attempts.
Okay, he probably did. And to your point about who's the better passer, LeBron is a little better passer because he's the best passer in basketball. I don't know about that. Here's the point. Michael averaged 5.3 a game, which is pretty good. LeBron averages 7.1, so it's not like staggering.
Skip, but when you put that times 82 over 15 years, you can see there's a 3,000 assist gap.
Okay, I got it because LeBron was more focused, locked in on sharing the basketball. If Michael had chosen to average 10 assists a game, I believe he could have, but that's not how he was built.
What if LeBron says, you know what? instead of averaging 7 assists, I'm going to average 4 assists, and I'm going to
could
score
have.
more.
Okay, I will give you that. But you know, my age-old issue with LeBron is, why can't you make your free throws? I've never understood it. Michael was just an okay free throw shooter, but he was 84% to LeBron's 74%. Yeah. So if I take that over LeBron's misses and I give him 10% more of his misses, that's 900 more points right there. That's almost a season's worth of points.
But
okay, so
Skip, if you notice with LeBron, it's like if he hits them early, he good going. But when he misses the first two, it's like he goes into now it's okay, let me try this. Let me try. He's not comfortable, and I don't, after 15 years, whatever it is, you just got to stick with it at this point in time, because you're going to keep changing your mechanics, and it's going to get good for a little while, and then when you mess it up, you're going to go to something else.
I don't get it.
It's like when he missed one bad. I mean, he missed one. I thought about to put Coach Popovich out. I'm like, Ron, what happened?
I don't know, because there'll be stretches where he will look so solid.
Yes.
The routine is 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And he'll follow through, and it'll swish, and I'll say, oh, wow, maybe he's got a hold of this.
You get it.
And now he's plummeted back down towards 74%.
Because you see the game against the Wizards early in this year, he's like 12 or 12, and in one game he's like 13 or 13, and then you'll go 2 for 8.
He had a 2 for 8. Yep.
But it's still hey, Bron,
amazing
celebrate
accomplishment.
Yeah, Bron, we celebrate our moment.
Yeah, you should fly up there and have a glass.
I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm out on the.
Sometimes when you're upset, a glass of wine is the way to go.
What about
mellow you out.
Until the Cavs? We're gonna talk about this later, but the Cavs are gonna have, in order to get me back, they're gonna have to make some moves.
Really? You're
Yes.
off the
You know what,
Cavs,
if you want Shannon back on the bandwagon.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Well, he's not really off. He's kind of just dragging his foot on the ground.
No, I'm off. I'm off. They got 3 moves they must make in order for me to come back.
Hire you as GM.
Nope. Nope.
No mercy. The struggles continue for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They lost in San Antonio last night and have now dropped 10 of their last 13. After the game, Ty Lue said he will be making changes to the lineup. This all comes after ESPN reported the team had a loud and intense meeting on Monday. Kevin Love was reportedly a major focus of that meeting. And yesterday, Frank Isola of the New York Daily News reported Isaiah Thomas, quote, led the charge against Love in the meeting. Love addressed that before last night's game.
That's something that we're going to keep, or we try to keep in-house. I felt like we should keep it on the court or in the locker room. Obviously, it didn't stay there. I'm going to, like I said, keep my mouth shut, do right by the organization, by the fans, and try to help this team win. I feel like a target. I mean, I think most people were a target. We're trying to figure this thing out. People hold themselves at a very high standard on this team, and we're a team that feels like we can compete at the highest level.
We're joined now by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. But Shannon, let me start with you. What do you make of all this?
I couldn't have been Kevin Love, because this, first of all, when Isaiah did what he did, I would say, guys, I was just going to sit back here, play the good company guy. Like, you're right, I need to play better. But since Isaiah came from me and I didn't send for him, I'm here now. First of all, everybody's up in arms about me missing the game. I had the flu. I felt faint. I felt dizzy. I went in the locker room. There's nothing I can do. I didn't want to spread whatever I had, so I left. Hold on. You guys going to get on to me. Derrick Rose left here with a fade, and come back with dreads, and y'all welcome him with open arms, and you mad because I missed 24 hours? Kick rocks, Isaiah. First of all, since you got here, you have no seniority to address me in any matter. You just got here a month ago. Where you been?
Are you sure he didn't say that to him?
I don't know, but I'm saying what I would have said.
And it got heated.
Well, it didn't get heated enough. He might have should have put the mitts on him.
It was fiery.
First of all, another problem that I got with you, Isaiah, you can't feed the post, because unless it's a fire hydrant, that's the only thing you're going to throw over. So how you going to get me the ball? I'm shooting 30% when you on the court, and I shoot 20+% higher when you off the court.
That is correct.
You can't guard anything.
Nope.
Okay, you think I'm done with him? Oh, when you played 29 minutes this before. JR, when are you going to do something other than bull jive on the court? Tristan, you making $15 million. You getting 2 rebounds a game. I told you to leave well enough alone. Your head hard. Jay Crowder, Can you hit like 3 shots that you hit in Boston last year? Can you guard somebody?
He did hit a couple shots to start the game last
Oh.
night. And I don't know what happened.
And I know, and I know
Bertrand's drove around it like he was Michael Jordan.
like his feet was nailed to the floor. And I know this might get me traded, but y'all know there been like 3 or 4 games in the last 2 weeks that LeBron had more turnovers than assists. But I ain't saying nothing about that.
Ooh, Shannon Sharpe just took a shot at LeBron James.
Oh, if we
You
look
being
at,
honest? Yeah.
when we have a meeting, don't say we having a meeting and I want you to get what's off your chest. Because I'm going to get, not my chest, I'm going to my shoes. I'm going knee deep. I'm telling Isaiah Thomas something, look at bro. Lou, I don't know what y'all going to do with me or him. But one of us needs to go. One of us needs to go. Now, he's virtually impossible because he's what we call the 2. He's too small, TOO, and too selfish. So that basically makes him untradeable.
He's a 2-guard TO.
Yeah, 2. So, but one of us got to go. Because here's the thing. Kevin Love had no problem playing third fiddle to LeBron and Kyrie. He said, I'll be damned if I'm going to play second fiddle to Isaiah Thomas because he's not better than me. Isaiah Thomas thinks he's a superstar after 1 good year. Russell didn't become a superstar after 1 year. Steph didn't. James Harden. Put some time in, bruh. You think, because you a second-team All-NBA, now you on Bron level. So, you know, LeBron's closer to greatness than I. Really, dude? Hey, Kevin Love, you a lot nicer than O'Shea Sharpe. Because, boy, when we get in this meeting, see, now I get to be the real me. I ain't got to be professional. Ain't no cameras there. Boy, I'm going in on everybody.
I hope Kevin
it real this morning.
I hope Kevin Love said like a third of what you said.
Yeah, I'm with you. Amen. I mean, this is ludicrous. Of all the problems they have, you talking about Kevin Love? Now, yeah, of course he's got flaws, but like you said, he is definitively their second best player.
Yes!
There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if J.R. Smith or Tristan Thompson or Imam Shumpert or anybody said something about Kevin Love, that's ridiculous. And of course, Isaiah, it's ludicrous, it's ridiculous for him to come out against Kevin Love. Here's what I hope happens, because they said it got fiery. If Isaiah Thomas win at Kevin Love, LeBron James and anybody else there with some seniority, and I could even say Dwayne Wade just because his stature in the league.
Yeah.
Tristan, because he's been there with Kevin Love throughout the duration, should have stepped up for Love.
Hope
and be
they
like,
did.
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. You've been to war with this guy for 3.5 years. He helped you win a championship. He was playing the best ball of his career until the little man got there.
Until you got here.
And I think I said on this show over the summer that there was talk that players had trouble playing with Isaiah
you said it.
in Boston.
Yep.
There were a couple Celtics came out and said, no, Mike Malone, Denver's coach who coached him in Sacramento, said, no, IT was great. He called me personally. But I still keep hearing from people around the league, guys don't enjoy playing with him even last year. And you see, look, I get it, you're 5'9", you got to have that chip on your shoulder, but you also have to have an edit button. You don't come out after your first or second game and say the way we played was unacceptable. The
way you played is unacceptable.
I mean, you don't come out and say we don't practice enough. Say that to Ty Lue behind closed doors. So he doesn't, that's what makes it difficult. And you see what's going on with this situation. I mean, it's been bad. So, no, I'm with everything Shannon said.
Skip,
This is unbelievable.
I went to Baltimore as a 7-time straight Pro Bowler, 4 first-team All-Pros, 2 Super Bowls. I didn't go in there calling no team meeting. This dude at 5'9", man. First, I'm with you. Because, see, first of all, he can't even talk. What are you talking for?
No,
he just got
here.
here.
You should be sitting there. Yep. You should be sitting there listening.
You just got here.
Nothing to say.
You an invited guest.
Me, myself, and Isaiah Thomas. That's who that guy is. And you kept
warned me,
saying,
too.
you kept
You
telling,
warned
you
me.
kept saying, he's coming back. And I kept saying, be careful what you wish for.
I didn't wish for him to come back because he said he go average 30. I said, Skip, he ain't gonna average 30. That's what he said. And I be, Derek Gorman, if he ain't trying to average
Are
30.
you saying that Skip is right?
Skip, you right, Skip. I'm sorry, Skip. I'm sorry. You right on this one.
Okay, I think we're in the twilight
But
zone.
even I didn't see the audacity of this little man to walk in the door and say, I'm LeBron's co-star. We're equal.
Yes.
We're 50-50, right?
Yes.
And right away, you were making jokes about, he said that? What? And right away, when he went back to Boston, he did punk Danny Ainge. He did. He waited until late in the first quarter to make his grand entrance back into his house. And what happened was that, at least for 1 year, you could argue for both years, the idolatry he experienced in Boston, where there was a star void, and they loved their Celtics, but all of a sudden, oh, we got Isaiah, our little Isaiah, and he's cute and cuddly, and as you said, he's easy to relate to, and so they loved him because he was really good last year, until they ran into, and he obviously got hurt against the Cavaliers, but then he comes in here like he's in Boston still with the idolatry, and thinks that Cleveland is going to embrace him as if he's the star and the driving force of this team. And when I read the report from Frank Isola, he led the charge against Kevin Love, who he's basically eliminated from the offense. That was laughable to me. What? No, not the report wasn't laughable. The fact was laughable.
The fact that he who just got there.
What?
Did you watch him last night? I thought he was on a slip and slide.
It was almost embarrassing for him.
He was awful last night.
He looked like a little, because he's small too, but he looked like a little kid out there with men, and he's falling all over the place.
And I don't know if his hip is not quite right yet. Maybe.
But see, what the thing is, though, he's in a contract year, and he keeps talking max contract. I don't see it. No. Maybe you see it, but I don't see someone giving this young man $25, $30 million for Skip. And here's the thing. The problem that he has, if he doesn't score, he offers you nothing else. Because he can't defend, he doesn't rebound, and he doesn't assist the basketball.
Yeah,
so if he's not giving you that 30, what good is he to you?
That's the biggest irony. He's joining a team that is really challenged on the defensive end, and he only makes it worse.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I'm in shark-infested waters, but I'm gonna cut my leg. Yeah. That's what you just brought him. You don't play defense to begin with. Now you just put a Lord have mercy.
We all got somewhat caught up in who we forgot who he was. And I don't mean his personality and stuff, but before going to Boston with Brad Stevens, these are good players. He was Lou Williams or Jamal Crawford. You know, he was a scoring machine off the bench.
Right.
That's what he was. But in that system in Boston, credit to Brad Stevens and those teammates for watching his back and covering up for him on defense. He became a star for a couple years.
Right.
He did.
But that's really not who he was, you know. But he got caught up in it. Obviously, Cleveland's front office got caught up in it.
Yeah, he got high on his own supply because he believed he's on the level with LeBron James. And the thing is, Skip, in Boston, like you say, they love their Celtics because you go back to the 60s Celtics, dominant. The 70s Celtics, they had Cowens, they had Havlicek, they had JoJo White. Then you go to 80, you had the big three. And then you get Paul Pierce. Yep. So they're starving for, okay, well, who's going to be that? Who's going to be that next guy? And here come a little relatable 5'9" guy like, oh, my goodness. You see little Dynamo? It was just like Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy Bogues was 5'3". Everybody loved him in Charlotte. Because, can he come out and play? That's a grown man. You talking about, can he come out and play with y'all? But they looking at Isaiah, and he's averaging 29, 30 points a game.
He was good there, too. I give him credit.
But here's the thing. If he can't give you that in Cleveland because the shots are not there. And if he's not providing the scoring, he's of no use to you. So he's just on the, but JR, I don't know what happened to JR. I don't know what happened to him. But Tristan Thompson, I told you, leave well enough alone, but you wouldn't listen. Do you know what his numbers were? You know what his numbers were in the playoffs, in the finals. There were some games he had 0 points. There were some games he had 4 rebounds, making $14 million. Tristan Thompson never got injured. He was the AC Green of the modern player. He started dating Joy. You know what happened.
So Ty Lue said before the game he didn't care what went on in the meeting. He cared, did the meeting, did it shock us back into to some effort on defense? Let's see how we respond to the meeting or it won't matter. To me, of all the games I've watched in the span of 3 and 10, That was hitting bottom last night because that Spurs team, that's the B team now. There's no Kawhi, no Gasol, no Manu, who I think is a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year, and no Rudy Gay.
Yeah, that might not
come
even
on.
be the beat.
So
That was the
Davis Bertans is guarding LeBron half the night. I'm like, what?
And driving by Jay Crowder like.
Yeah, well, and they win 114 to 102 because every 50-50 ball, every loose ball, the Cavs are just watching DeJounte just dive on the floor and grab it, stealing the ball from him.
Dude has 7 steals.
They did
10
not
rebounds.
respond. They did not respond. They just they're just dead in the water. You know, they're just drifting through games. I've never seen anything like it before.
Body language is
It's
horrible.
bad.
They played deep for the first quarter.
They did.
They gave up 25 points. And then from that point on, they got ran through like go through an elderly person.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous, Skip. I'm telling you, until they make a move.
He's off. He says he's off the game.
Until they make a move, I'm not LeBron.
I don't think there's any major moves coming. They may
Get
get
Kimba.
George Hill.
Okay, is George Hill going to change your life?
Well, here's the thing. If you get George Hill, he can play the 1 or the 2.
Right.
He's a good three-point shooter. So
Yes.
my guess is they'll start with him and Isaiah in the backcourt, right?
No.
But I think that's where they'll start
Can
it
we
off.
trade Isaiah for Kimba?
Well, what I was gonna say, no. You think Mike doing that, Michael Jordan?
Yeah. Because Mike, he gonna be off your books. Kimba making $12 million. Isaiah only making $6 million this year. He gonna be off your books next year.
I would start Hill at the point. Now you don't have a 2 guard. That's the problem too.
But why did Isaiah?
Ty Lue has to make the tough decisions.
Why did Isaiah automatically get inserted into the starting lineup? It's not a coincidence that they won 18 or 19 or 17 or 20 when who wasn't in lineups.
Calderon.
Because they
But the
traded
skid
him
did
for
start.
Kyrie.
The skid did start before
Slightly
he got
before,
back.
because you know why?
Few
They
games.
anticipated him coming back.
You know what? I tweeted 10 days ago that the Cavs are better with Calderon in the lineup in place of Isaiah.
Yeah.
Seriously. And you can laugh at that, but they're just better. They're a better
Chemistry,
basketball
yep.
team.
That's why Hill in that spot.
Yeah.
Hill's obviously a much better version than Calderon.
Yeah.
He is.
So maybe that's why I'm thinking maybe you go there.
So LeBron needs to make the call.
How does J.R. Smith
correct.
play 29 minutes and I'm on my couch and he and I have the same thing? The same amount. How did that happen, Chris Broussard?
JR's game has totally disappeared.
He got to go.
Totally.
They got to, somebody. Chris Broussard. You know I'm the biggest Cavalier fan, but I got to go. I'm gone. I'm out. I'm out.
So wow.
I'm done. And
I
they got
mean,
unless
I'm just-
somebody.
Again, I'm just shocked. I'm shocked.
Bron, I'm sorry, Bron.
Well,
Discontent
look,
with Cleveland.
and look, you can only control your teammates so much. They're grown men. But I do want to see LeBron and D-Wade step up as leaders.
Jeff Green
Some
should
of
be in the
this
starting
has to
lineup.
be
should. I
on.
agree with
Some
that.
of this has to be on them. Some of it.
It does.
Tell me Jeff Green shouldn't be starting in front of
Of
JR.
course, it's on LeBron. He makes
It's
all
not
the
totally
decisions.
on him. Nah, it's not to that degree. But
You said that
they do
you
need
said
to
they
step
forgot
up.
who Isaiah was before that Boston situation. I think they forgot who Kyrie was. That swap.
Well, you didn't
that's
have
why
to
that's
trade
what
him.
it is.
You could have sat it out, tried to tough it out.
LeBron was willing to sit down. Whatever issues he and Kyrie had, he was willing to work through them.
What LeBron
I'm
should
not
have
sure
done.
Kyrie was.
Yeah.
No, Kyrie wasn't. What LeBron should have done when they came to him and said, look, we could get Paul George and Eric Bledsoe for Kyrie if you sign on to stay. I don't know if it was
For
3-4
year,
years,
yeah,
but maybe just next year.
Yep.
Because George was willing to stay at least next year.
with Bron.
Should have done that. Because next year the free agent landscape will look better for LeBron anyway.
I agree.
No mercy. Tom Brady is getting ready for his 8th Super Bowl, but his wife Giselle probably hopes it's his last. Brady's friend, former kicker Jay Feely, told Sports Illustrated he was on vacation with Brady and Giselle last spring, and Giselle was, quote, dead serious about trying to get Feely to convince Brady to stop playing. Brady said last year that if it was up to Giselle, she would, quote, have me retire today. Shannon, how much longer will Brady play?
Skip, I believe had Jimmy Garoppolo remained on this roster, this would have been his last year in New England.
Agreed. But
Considering he has 2 more years on this contract, I believe he finishes it out. I believe he plays 20 seasons and he walks away. And I think this is what he should do. He should play as long as the fire and the passion is there. Because I'm afraid, Giselle, if you make him walk away, he will be resentful.
Oh, that's
because He can't. It's not like golf, Skip. You know, if you can't compete with the young guys. They got a senior circuit. You get 50, hey, you go hit around with them and play till you're 70 years of age.
You can.
But in football, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you tell a guy in 17 seasons as a starter, he's played in 12 AFC Championship games, and it's his 8th appearance to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So there's a chance he could win the Super Bowl, which would be number 6. He's probably going to win the MVP, and he walks away? I don't see that. Tom says he loves everything about the game. He loves competing. He loves the training. He loves the mental. He loves the preparation that it takes to be great, to be Tom Brady, because anything less is unacceptable for the standard that he set for himself. Skip, I played with John, and John Elway.
Yep.
I just remember the game was different then. It was a lot more physical for the quarterback than it is now.
That's true.
But he didn't. The meetings, the mental grind of what it takes to be that top flight quarterback, that passion didn't burn like it.
But the fire went out.
Yeah.
I was shocked that he didn't come back because you guys had a chance.
The three-peat.
No one's ever done that.
Right. Peyton,
you had it right there. I'm like, you don't want to come back and try that?
And Peyton had the desire.
Yeah.
But
body broke down.
His body broke down.
Okay.
Tom has the desire. He still seems to me that he's able to play. And granted, no, he's never been mobile. But he's taken some shots that probably he would have been able to get away from a couple of years, maybe 5-6 years ago. But what he's able to do with his mind and the way he can get himself prepared every single year, I don't see him walking away, win, lose, or draw this Super Bowl. And I believe he plays 20 seasons with New England. I don't believe anyone else will ever approach that number, playing 20 years with one team. And to be, because now, Skip, if you look at Tom Brady, he's just adding layers to the cake. He's already got a 10-layer cake. He just being greedy now. He's just being gaudy. I mean, you know how you go to these places, Skip, they're like, okay, what you want? You make your ice cream. And you get some Reese's Pieces, you get some Snicker bars, you get a cake batter, you get cookie dough, you get out. You're like, come on, dude, you don't even really need all that. Tom got a 10-layer cake. He just adding confetti. He adding lemons. He sprinkles. He just adding to it, Skip. But I don't see him walking away. I believe he plays 2 more years, 20, and wraps it up.
By the way, speaking of stats, we just talked about 30,000 with LeBron. So I read this last night. You lose track and sight of these things. So in this Super Bowl, Tom Brady has a very realistic chance of topping 10,000 passing yards in the postseason.
Yeah.
And next on the list at number 2 is Peyton, and I don't have it right in front of me, it's off the top of my head, but it was 7,000 something.
Yeah.
So he's just crushed number 2 Peyton Manning, and he's going to go over 10,000 playoff passing yards. Amazing, but I don't know that that's what he's doing right now.
No.
I don't think he's trying to build a monument to himself.
I bet if you ask him, he couldn't tell you how many passing yards he had.
He couldn't tell you. He keeps saying, I'm having too much fun. The quote to Giselle a year ago after last year's Super Bowl was, I'm sorry, babe, I'm having too much fun.
Yes.
Okay, well, do you begrudge him that?
No,
because I don't.
No, Giselle begrudges him because she's like, I'm tired of being mom and dad. I'm tired of getting the kids ready.
I get it, and that is true. And she's tired of worrying about concussions and lacerated hands and things that wives worry about.
Yes.
Because he's playing a really dangerous game. And this year he suffered through an Achilles, sore left shoulder, laceration. Who knows if he took some whacks to the head or not.
Yeah, I'm sure she's worried about after football.
Yeah, after football, no doubt. So, I'm going to say it again. This man, according to Robert Kraft, told Robert Kraft, his owner, I want to play until I'm 45. So let's just say it's 4 more years, 4 more football seasons. This is the one guy in sports I keep telling you I do not bet against. And yet it's so ironic. Everywhere I've gone over the last 2 days on the west side of Los Angeles, everywhere I go, everybody I run into out in the streets or wherever I might be, all I hear about is, Eagles going to get them. Eagles going to get them. And it's not Patriot hate. It's just Brady. I don't know if it's hate. I don't know if it's personal, but people are sick and tired of Tom Brady.
But that happens, Skip. I mean, we saw the Yankees. Can someone else win? Can someone else win? We just get tired. But if you follow the game and if you play the game, you know what goes into it to be this successful. And you're like, why are people begrudging when I'm up around the clock, basically trying to get better at my craft?
Yeah.
That's what people, guys that play and athletes that play. You're like Serena, when she wins, like, can somebody else just win?
Greatness is boring because in order to be great, you have to be consistent.
And to be great, Skip, guess what? Tom Brady's missed a lot of little Vivian's, I think that's his daughter. He's missed a lot of recitals. He's missed a lot of soccer practice.
What's the oldest boy's name? Jack?
Jack,
A lot of that.
Yeah. So he's missed a lot of things.
I agree.
And Giselle's like, hon, I'm tired of going to these events solo. They know these kids have a mom and a dad, but you can't come because football games, football practice, as Ray said, click, click, click.
And he said in that documentary, you saw the preview, that he really enjoys 4 to 5 hour straight film sessions at home at night. Giselle?
All I got.
What are you doing, Giselle?
I had 2 hours for you, Joy, because you got to realize, Skip, what do you think you're doing at practice? When you're not practicing, guess what you're doing? You watching film. So he's watching film at work, and then he's coming home. Just say, "Oh no, honey, honey, don't make me get this frying pan to you."
Okay, so there's some phenomenon going on out in America right now, outside of Patriot Nation. There's jealousy of Brady. There's resentment of Brady. Some people think he's a phony. He's a fraud. Nobody embraces, or outside Patriot Nation, embraces this guy the way they do. Even LeBron. I think LeBron is much more beloved than Tom Brady. Is that fair?
No.
I do. I get that. I think so.
Oh, no.
No, I do. But the point is, it wears on people because it still looks like he could play 4 more years. Again, I'm going to knock on wood because the problem with this whole discussion is if he suffers what we call it, a catastrophic injury, a career-threatening injury, then all bets are off.
Right.
But since we have to go back to whatever it was, 2000, whatever, the Matt Castle year.
2008, because after that fantastic, that historic season.
So I ask you, Sunday, throughout that game against a really good, young, fast defense, did you see one little glimpse or sign that told you he's not what he used to be, that he's on the real downside? Because I got to tell you, I saw no signs of age. I didn't see. He looked just like Tom Brady.
But that's the thing with greatness, Skip, is that sometimes it's gradual, but sometimes you step off a cliff because the level, the height at which you are, because Tom Brady is so high. So if he's 20,000 feet up, if he drops 10,000, you notice it, as opposed to somebody being only 10,000 up and they drop down to 6,000.
Yep.
You're like, well, hell, he wasn't that high to begin with. But when you look at what Tom is, 12 AFC Championship games in 17 seasons as a starter. So basically, every other year, Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl. That's what you got. So 8 Super Bowl appearances, 17 seasons as a starter. So basically, every other year, pencil Tom Brady in for going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, I got you. So here's one guy who has found a nutritional program and a stretching routine, pliability, whatever you want to call it, that is working for him because he appears to be shattering the mold. He's having more fun playing football, according to him, than he's ever had. So why couldn't he, like your mind tells you, 40 years old, that's it. He's going to fall off the cliff. What if he doesn't fall off the cliff? I mean, would you be shocked if he played 4 more years? Because I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
I would bet. I would bet a good chunk of my fortune, which isn't much, Joy, that he doesn't play 4 more years. But here's the thing, though, Skip. Getting in is the easy part. Is knowing when to get out that gets hard. And when you Tom Brady, for me, I think he'd be foolish to walk away, even if win, lose, or draw. I believe he's going to win the Super Bowl. I believe he's going to win the MVP. So he's 5-3 in the Super Bowl. There's no more accolades. We regard Tom Brady as the greatest quarterback to ever play in the 98-year history of the NFL. I don't win, so if he's 5-3, if he goes 6-2, does that change your perception of Tom Brady? No. If he goes 5-3, he's so far ahead of everybody else, Skip. Nobody's ever going to get this. It's kind of like Barry Bonds and the MVPs. Nobody's going to ever get 7. Nobody's ever going to 8 in a Super Bowls. It's not going to happen because guess why, Skip? Because what's tearing at the fabric now? who gets the credit, remember that ripped the dynasty of the Bulls apart.
It did.
Michael Jordan and Jerry Krause, they butted heads.
I was there.
Because Michael said it's me and these players,
He did.
and Jerry Krause said, no, it's an organization. We put this thing together. Shaq and Kobe. So for it to stay as long as it did is a feat in and of itself. So that's what's going to stop someone else from ever doing this, and the money's going to get so astronomical, Skip. You're going to have quarterbacks making $35 million a year.
Okay, but Tom Brady won the power struggle with Bill Belichick thanks to the owner. The owner had to pick a side, and he picked Tom Brady's side. Is it possible that Brady lasts 4 more years and Belichick goes somewhere else?
Well, here's the thing, Skip. I think maybe both guys want to see if they can win a championship without the other, because then it'll be a slam dunk who gets the credit.
I would agree.
So Tom is like, oh, okay. Go ahead, old Bill. Go ahead, old. We'll have old Josh up in here, Josh McDaniels up in here. We go ahead. I mean, that might be the succession plan. They go. But if Brady were to win a Super Bowl without Coach Belichick, well, Skip, if Coach Belichick were to win one, and I think Coach Belichick, I think Tom is, look, we can debate this. Tom might think it's him, Coach Belichick. I believe Tom was perfectly content because, hey, they're just going to win. I'm just going to keep winning. Y'all debate all you want to. But I believe Coach Belichick deep down inside. Because the coach really, because we're going to always kind of side with the athlete, Skip, because he's in the arena. I mean, you say, well, yeah, but you ain't taking no shots. You ain't throwing no passes. Yeah. You're not a boy. But Coach Belichick puts this thing together. And I tend to lean to Coach Belichick because the Julian Edelmans, and how does he find these guys? Undrafted, the Malcolm Butlers.
How does Brady make it work with those guys?
Well, Malcolm Butler on the other side. Malcolm Butler saved his legacy. Oh, like Ray Allen. You remember that joint? Malcolm Butler.
I do remember that.
Malcolm Butler saved that legacy. Oh, Skip.
I do remember that.
Did he save his legacy? Yes or no,
Skip?
Skip?
That parade.
Skip.
Tom Brady was 13 of 15 for 124 yards against the Legion of Boom in the fourth quarter, down 10 points.
Can I ask you a question?
That saved the legacy.
Let me ask you a question. Seattle catches that touchdown. Malcolm Butler doesn't make that play. Does 13 and 15 matter? No.
It would to me.
No, it wouldn't. Just like
he did his job.
Oh, like Ray Allen did his. Thank you, Skip. I'm glad you said, okay, next one. Joey, what's the next question? Go ahead on.
Did
Is
Belichick,
he admitting it? Ray Allen saved LeBron's legacy?
I think he just did.
Only if you admit Malcolm Butler saved Tom Brady's legacy.
Why would he admit
he
that?
actually saved Belichick's legacy.
No, stop!
What happened on the previous play? Or the couple plays before?
Oh, the tip.
The bomb, like.
Well, I mean, Skip, you can't. I mean, that's like the David Tyree catch. If the guy gonna juggle the ball 17 times, fall on his back, and the ball fall in his arms, you basically say, God, it ain't for us today.
Okay.
No mercy.
The Eagles are a 5.5-point underdog in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. That makes 3 straight playoff games that Philly will be the underdog. After their win on Sunday, Eagles offensive lineman Lane Johnson said he wants to, quote, dethrone pretty boy Tom Brady. Lane was on First Things First this morning and did not back down from that. Let's take a listen.
You made comments about dethroning the pretty boy Tom Brady. And did you expect these comments to get as much of attention that they've gotten?
I think it needs to. I mean, obviously he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I don't want to go to the Super Bowl and be, hey, thanks, Tom. Thanks for having us. We wish you the best. Let's be in your good graces. And obviously they're going to talk about him the whole week until they somehow get arthritis in their tongue. I don't know how that's going to be possible, but it'll happen. So from that standpoint, I'm going in confident. I want our team to be confident, and we're not just going there to celebrate. We're going there to win.
Okay, Lane.
I like Lane already.
I like that, Lane.
We're joined by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. Welcome back,
Kevin
Eric.
Love needs some of Lane Johnson to him.
Eric, how much of a shot do you give the Eagles to pull the upset?
You know what? I'm not even saying it's an upset. I said the Eagles are going to win.
Oh, you just laid it right out on the table.
I'm saying the Eagles are going to win. I'm going to go back to 2008 when the Giants won the Super Bowl. And everyone was, Patriots going to win. It's going to be an easy walk for the Patriots. And I took the Giants straight. I said, I didn't want the points. I didn't want the points in this game. I think the Eagles are the better football team. Now, I think the Patriots have the better football player in Tom Brady, for sure. And coach, defensive coach. But when I look at the Philadelphia Eagles, you know what Doug Peterson has done a good job of? He went back and he looked at tape, what made Nick Foles a Pro Bowl quarterback. You know, what works best for him.
and he inserted that. Let Nick Foles be Nick Foles. He's not trying to make him play Carson Wentz's offense. He's going back to let him play the football that he knows. Right. Like when he was with the Rams, he said that he wanted to retire from football. Well, I'd want to retire too. Yeah. I mean, but you know, when you have a way to play the way that you think this works for me, like if I'm a running back, like I can't run inside, I can run outside. You know, or if I'm a receiver, I'm not good across the middle, I'm good going outside. So they've given Nick Foles the offense. He has the weapons. He has the defense. Now, I'll say this much here, that for sure the defense isn't a great defense, but I think it's a very good defense. Jim Schwartz has a very good defense. One thing about the Eagles, when I even think of the Eagles, the old Philadelphia Eagles, the Eagles like to hit the quarterback. Yeah, they will get at you. They'll blitz you. They will punish a quarterback, and I think Jim Schwartz is the same way. I think they will get after Tom Brady. I think that this will be a game. I think it's going to be a close football game, but I do give the edge to the Philadelphia Eagles.
I give them a great shot, Skip, because they have the front four. They have a defensive line with Fletcher Cox inside, Barnett, Graham, Jernigan, those guys, Chris Long. They got a nice rotation going. Now, the thing that you can have success doing, you can run the ball against this wide nine. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, everybody thinks that Tom Brady's going to just come out and throw the football. They're going to try to establish the run first because you got to slow that rush down. This is not the team that you want to just to pin their ears back. Time of possession will be huge. Jacksonville won the time of possession, but a lot of times they had the ball for 4 minutes, but they got no points. Holding on to the ball without getting points do you no good because Tom Brady's going to score. I don't care how good your defense is. Tom Brady's going to score. And probably on a neutral site field, it's going to probably cost you need to get somewhere around 24 points to be able to compete with him. So that's what your goal should be. Nick Foles, is he going to go 10 or 14 on third down, Skip? I don't know if he's going to be that. But you got to be somewhere high 40s, maybe 50% on third down, because you're going to have to sustain drives to keep the best defense for Tom Brady is not your defense, it's your offense and keeping his butt on the sideline. Because he can't hurt you when he got that park. Well, it should be nice. Well, it's going to be indoors, so he won't have a park on. As long as he's parked side the bench and he's looking at the Jumbotron, you're good. You're good. It's when he gets on the field that he does his damage to people. But I think they got a great shot. I agree with you, ED, that Doug Peterson going back and find what works really well for Nick Foles. Let's put him in a situation where he's comfortable. Ran a lot of double moves, got the ball out of his hands quick. He's a rhythm guy, Skip. And you notice, like, when he gets in a rhythm, he'll complete 5, 6, 7 passes in a row. He got some nice receivers. Now, the thing that I think that Coach Belichick will do, he's going to play a lot of two-man because he's not worried about Nick Foles going anywhere. He's going to challenge these receivers. He's not going to give you easy throws now. So, Nick, the throws that you got last week, they're not happening. So you're going to have to be on your best behavior to take this team down, but it's doable. I give them an excellent shot.
Whew. So, Eric Dickerson, you ran the football pretty well in your career.
Sometimes.
In fact, I've called you the greatest running back ever.
I knew I liked
So, the New England Patriots last Sunday won an AFC Championship game at home, running the football a grand total of 46 yards. And until the final real play of the game, which was a sweep left that went for 18 yards, they had a grand total of 28 yards rushing. So, let's look at the flip side. Does Philly have a better running game than New England? Way better, to me, with those two backs and throw a little Clement in there. Yeah. Does Philly have a little better offensive line than New England does? Yes, it does. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is the Philly receiving core better than Brady's overall receiving core? Yes, it is. If I throw in Ertz and all those other tight ends on top of those three receivers.
Alshon, Aguilar, and Torrey Smith. Yeah.
Pretty good. Is Philly's front seven on defense better than New England's front seven? It is way better to me than the front seven. Maybe not. I'm going to give New England the secondary. I think the secondary New England's might be a little better, although I have high regard for Malcolm Jenkins.
Yes.
High regard. But still, it's that might be close, and I might go slight edge New England because of Stephon Gilmore and Malcolm Butler. But I just made a case. Now let's get back to the quarterback of the Eagles. What if I told you there was this quarterback who had started 42 NFL games, and he had thrown 66 touchdown passes to only 29 interceptions? You'd say, who's that guy?
Who's that guy?
Right? Okay. What if I told you that same quarterback had started 3 playoff games and completed a record, all-time record, 75% of his passes in 3 playoff games? with 5 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. You'd say, I want that guy, right? That guy's Nick Foles. And by the way, about mobility, I'm going to say it again. Out of high school, Austin Westlake, Austin, Texas. He was recruited by Texas and Baylor to play basketball at 6 feet, 6 inches tall, Nick Foles. So he has some, I'm not saying he's fast or quick, but he can move a little bit. He has some athletic ability, some. So that guy's at quarterback. So it's not like you just threw in some raw backup or some rookie backup, who's never been there and done this before. He's done all this. He's had high success rate. So I'm going to give you a really good chance until I hear Lane Johnson. And I'm saying, when will anybody ever learn? You just can't rattle this cage. I said it about Jalen Ramsey last week, and I'm going to say it again. I really respect everything on paper about Philadelphia. You can't go in like that. You used the expression about you were talking about the tribe. You go after the lion, you're going to be beating your drum.
Yeah.
This is the lion. You don't go beating your drum.
Well, Plaxico did it.
Okay, but that was different because you had those guys. You had Strahan and Tuck and Umanura, and that was the record-setting Patriots. And I will give you this: I think they were feeling themselves a little bit. They'd broken every passing record, and he had Randy Moss. Well, they barely beat him, 38-35. But I think Tom Brady was a little bit fat cat. I think he learned a painful lesson that day, even though he did what he usually does with about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. He threw it to Moss, and they go up 14-10, and it took the all-time luckiest play in the history of the Super Bowl to undo that.
Right.
He got Tyreed. But still, to your point, I think Tom Brady thought they were going to win that one pretty easily.
Yeah.
Okay? So, again, the one thing I don't like about the Eagles is I don't like the Eagles because I'm a Cowboy fan, but this is vintage, classic Eagle front-running sort of tough talk.
The underdogs.
Okay, yeah, you're the underdogs, and you are the underdogs. But Lane Johnson can't say that to Tom Brady. Call him a pretty boy, and we're going to dethrone you, and somebody.
He said we're going to dethrone you.
Yeah.
He said this ain't no coronation. We're not just showing up to be in the parade.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom.
So they're going to talk about Tom Brady next week until they get arthritis in their tongues, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a funny line, but Brady hears, he reads, he sees.
They watch this.
He's going to say, And Lane Johnson can do a lot of talking because Lane Johnson does not have to defend Tom Brady.
Well, I tell you what, Lane, if you go ahead and you guys back up what you said, what you're going down there to do, we're going to get arthritis in the tongue talking about you for that following week.
That is correct.
And what you pulled off.
Yeah. Well, but I give him a great shot, but you better be careful with this guy. The other guy's got the other team's got number 12. You don't mess with him. You don't tug on that
3
cake.
games in a row, someone has.
I know. What are you doing?
I say that the Patriots have the best player, but I think the Eagles have the best football team. When you look at the way the Patriots got to the Super Bowl, got to the Super Bowl, is that they played Tennessee. Now, we know Tennessee couldn't play with the Patriots. I mean, that was a pretty. I hate to say it, but that was an easy game.
Yeah.
Jacksonville. People ask me about. I say I like Jacksonville's defense. They have a great defense or a good defense.
They do.
But that offense, they have a chance. Sometimes they sputter. They'll get hot, then they'll get cold. And that's exactly what happened. All of a sudden, you got the lead. And to me, they tried to protect the lead.
They did.
You can't do that with the Patriots because the Patriots, they're going to come after you.
Yeah.
So, once again, they haven't had a real tough goal of it to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, they're 13-3, just like the Eagles are 13-3. I think these are two very good football teams. I think at one point, you said it, you crowned Winston as the MVP, and they're going to win the Super Bowl. But when Wentz got hurt, you kind of jumped off that bandwagon. You jumped off that bandwagon.
Shannon's known for jumping off a
bandwagon. I see Shannon will jump off a bandwagon.
But here's the thing, Skip. If you think about it, now at one point in time, Kansas City was thought of as the best team in the AFC. Pittsburgh, there's not one moment. I mean, for the most part, the Eagles have been the number one power rankings, them in Minnesota, and I think Minnesota jumped them once Carson Wentz got hurt. But if you look at their body of work up until Carson Wentz got hurt, they were the number one team in the NFC.
Well, the Patriots haven't had a tough go to the Super Bowl, but they have been there.
They've been there, 8 times? Yeah. Nick Foles had a great game against what arguably the best defense in the National Football.
It was a great.
I'm talking about ripped them apart.
Well, they have a chance, but every little thing matters. So if you're a gambler, They're wearing the white jerseys. That's a
big deal.
news. Yeah, teams wearing white have won 12 of the last 13 Super Bowls.
And they've won
You
their
need
last 3 Super
every edge
Bowls.
you can
You
get.
got all that
Eric.
edge, all that edge.
Every edge you can get. They're 3-1 in the Super Bowl.
So wait, so let me ask you a question. So who you going with? You said got a chance. I don't like that sitting on the fence stuff.
You know, right now, I picked New England at the beginning of the year.
So
But I picked New England to play Seattle. I think he had New England to play Dallas.
So who you going with?
You know how it's leading up
It's
to the
too
Super Bowl.
early. It's
What
too
you mean?
early for that.
To the Super Bowl, somebody go do something
So crazy. Well, I know who Skip going with it. I didn't even ask him.
Eric, you got wishful thinking operating.
Okay.
You realize that because most people do. The Eagles have now become America's team.
They are.
They have. Everybody
like
loves the
Philly.
Eagles.
Evil empire.
No mercy.
James Harrison said it was a business decision to join the Patriots in December after being released by the Steelers, and he made a big play in the fourth quarter of Sunday's win over the Jaguars. USA Today's Jarrett Bell wrote that the Steelers look, quote, rather dense now in letting Harrison go. Bell adds that it seems unthinkable that Pittsburgh did not play Harrison during the second half of the season. We're joined once again by Eric Dickerson, but Skip, let me start with you.
Yep.
Do you blame Mike Tomlin for getting rid of Harrison?
I do. Very early this morning, I read Jarrett Bell's piece on the USA Today website. And for those who don't know Jarrett, he's a longtime friend of mine, longtime African-American columnist for USA Today, covering pro football. He's been out front on the protest movement as a reporter and a commentator. He's been out front and all over the Raiders for violating the Rooney Rule. And I have a lot of respect for Jarrett Bell, and my jaw dropped when he laid out this case basically against Mike Tomlin for underutilizing James Harrison, for mistreating James Harrison, and for finally cutting James Harrison even before the season was over. And did he ever make a strong case? Because Jarrett's first point was that he was there watching the game, Week 6 at Kansas City. Chiefs had a chance to win with a last-minute TD drive, but on 3rd and 10, James Harrison, who played only 15 snaps that day, sacked Alex Smith for an 8-yard loss that virtually sealed the victory, says Jarrett Bell. So he says it seemed unconscionable that Pittsburgh didn't put Harrison in a rotation that included young linebackers T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree, and that it was embarrassing for Harrison to show up for a game and find his locker empty, unaware that he'd been made inactive for that game. This is a stalwart, man. You can certainly appreciate being from Pittsburgh. Is he not a highly respected and decorated Pittsburgh Steeler?
Skip, he's a defensive player. He won Defensive Player of the Year. We know what they think of their defensive players. Joe Green, Jack Lambert, Rod Woodson, Mel Blount.
He has a legacy there.
So he finally gives in and cuts this man after James Harrison requested, just let me out. Don't treat me like this. Just let me go. And, of course, Bill Belichick said, thank you very much. I'll take you, and brings him in. And Tom Brady, obviously, as he usually is to new players, he put his arm around him. You belong here. And you and I both said, all you need is one play. And I saw a couple of plays on Sunday against Jacksonville, a couple of plays in the fourth quarter.
Skip, he got there the week of their last game of the season. They played the Jets. He played 30 snaps and got 2 sacks. He's played 89 defensive snaps in 3 games, 40 snaps in 5 games with the Steelers. Now, James Harrison was a free agent. He's re-signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers because they told him they would continually use him in the role that he was in.
That's what he said.
Now, he was a free agent. We know what he thinks about Dick LeBeau. He says, I'm not James Harrison without Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau is the defensive coordinator in Tennessee. I believe he would have joined Dick LeBeau in Tennessee. But the Steelers, he wanted to be at the Steelers. Hey, we got a chance to win here. James, if you know anything about him, if you follow him on social media, he's not a participation guy. Remember, he made his sons take their trophies back.
He did.
Because they didn't win them. They got them for participating.
Yeah.
So James Harrison said, look, yeah, we're winning, but I'm not contributing. I want to contribute. And if you're not going to let me contribute here, just release me. Now, I don't like how he handled it. If it's true, Skip, that he was showing up late to meetings, he was sleeping in meetings, I don't agree with that.
But it sounds like they started it and he was finishing.
Right.
But go ahead.
But here's the thing, Skip. The Pittsburgh things of value, you don't discard things of value. The Steelers said James Harrison offers no value to us. Bill Belichick said, yeah, he does. Maybe not 5 plays a game, but I just need him for one. One play, make one play that can change the outcome of the game. It's a big difference, Skip, trying to pick up 2nd and 18, 3rd and 18, as opposed to 2nd and 10, 2nd and 3rd and 8.
Well, you know, I think that it's hard when you play for an organization for as long as James Harrison played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think it's almost a slap in his face, you know, the way Tomlin did him. I mean, no matter if you Steelers, Bengals, whoever, you get drafted and play for that organization, you have a loyalty to that organization.
Yeah.
You feel like they're me, they're part of me. And I know he's hurt, even though he said, you know, release me, he probably didn't think they'd release him. One thing is, look, Father Time doesn't lose a game. You know, he gets us all. It's just it's a fact. I mean, he's 39 years old. I don't think there's any other 39-year-old defensive players in the National Football League right now.
He's the oldest. Yeah.
And then you got Tom Brady.
Yep.
Well,
So,
Terrence Newman, I think Terrence Newman.
But he is the oldest.
but he's
by
the
days.
oldest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you go to an organization, you know, leave the Pittsburgh Steelers and go to, we'd be the enemy, almost go to the enemy. You know, Bill Belichick, like, yeah, thank you. And you know, that one play, he had some good plays in that game, but that one play was a big play. And all of a sudden, it's highlighted on that play, look, this is what you lost. This is what you let get away. So
he played 30 snaps. He played, what, 36, 37 snaps on Sunday. They put him in for 30 snaps when he first arrived. So the Steelers, they couldn't find a role for him. And he goes to Coach Belichick, and Coach Belichick finds a role for him.
right away.
And that's what you want, Skip. You just want to be
By the
appreciated.
way, my eye test on just watching TV, if you didn't tell me he was 39,
You wouldn't know.
He got fresh legs.
he's flying off the edge, and then one was just a flat-out bull rush where he just overpowered the left tackle.
He's a leverage rusher, and that's the thing, Skip. If you try to use him, say, maybe the Steelers like, well, we can't use you 40 plays. But I believe for 10 or 15 plays, he could have given the Steelers the value that he's giving the Patriots. But, Skip, they needed that third tackle. I think Gilbert was coming back off injury. They needed that spot. And James is like, well, James is not playing. But James is like, why am I going to say, look, nobody claimed him. So he went unclaimed, so which meant he was a total free agent. So now anybody can claim him because they don't have to pay his contract. Patriots like, all we got to play is 1 week, game 17 game check, and then you're going to get playoff money. What do we have to lose?
Nothing.
Nothing.
And to me, again, maybe Belichick will pat him on the head after they win the Super Bowl and send him on home.
Yeah.
But to me, that guy I watched Sunday, I'm not going to be shocked if he's not back next year with the Patriots.
James won't be disappointed. I can go on home with a Super Bowl ring. And the big old, you know, because the Patriots ring, they getting so big now, I mean, you're going to need 2 fingers. Because they have those, so it's going to have 6 Lombardi.
James Harrison is a big man.
Yeah, so
He's a big man.
I might go play with the Patriots. I might go get a coach.
But
Coach Belichick.
you know these teams now, they want young. You know,
They do.
You think of the Steelers, you know, they got, you know, T.J. Watts. You know, they got Ryan
I
Shazier
got
when
it.
he was healthy. You know,
Bud Dupree.
Bud Dupree. I mean, they want young guys. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense hasn't been that Pittsburgh Steelers defense in a while. Because when I think of the Steelers, I'm thinking of a team that will hit you, roughhouse you.
Yeah. But they haven't been that. You're right. They haven't been that. Well, the back end haven't been that since they had Troy Polamalu and Ryan Clark. So they're not that. They still can get, because they led the league in sack. They can still, but you know that's inflated because they played 2 bad offensive line the last 2 weeks of the season and got 13 sacks, playing the Houston Texans, playing the Cleveland Browns. So that's a little inflated because the previous 3 games they only had 5 sacks in those games. But Skip, the man wanted to be a part of something. And people think, well, man, I'll just be sitting on the bench, you know, going for the Super. No, that's not how you're wired. James Harrison didn't become James Harrison being wired like, oh, I'm cool. The dude got cut 3 times. And so he had Pittsburgh cut him, Baltimore cut him, Pittsburgh brought him back, cut him, and brought him back again. So he's like, okay, they believed in me. He won a Defensive Player of the Year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's because they gave him the chance. They believe, even though they cut him twice, Skip, they still say, well, you know what, we believe in you, bro.
And Jarrett Bell summed it up by saying at 5:45 a.m. the day after the Jacksonville win, James Harrison was already in the weight room, which is Brady-esque to me.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Right?
This whole thing is very un-Steeler-like to
it
handle
is.
that.
I mean, because
handle it that way.
they usually take care of their
But
players.
especially someone who's been there as
That's
long
right.
I mean,
as
they
he's
might
been
not
there.
re-sign you, but they don't normally cut players during the season.
And-
But
Especially
even
not-
if you do, just don't handle it in that way.
Don't show up for a game
Not
and your
him.
locker's empty.
Right.
And
Not,
you're
James
Come
Harrison,
on.
you got to tell him, James, you're not going to be up there.
I mean,
Exactly.
It
You're not gonna be
is a
playing this
business, but we all know that there are feelings, and especially when you've been with
James,
an
go get that
organization
ring.
for
That's the
long.
only way to replay him, James. You get that ring.
Who you picking? I'm asking you again.
He can't pick that.
yet.
We have
I know where he's leaning. I know where his heart is.
I might
His
get me a-
head is telling him
I
no.
might get me a James Harrison jersey.
Eric, thanks for joining
Or
us.
Gronk.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports, one of one.